Jordan Estupinan to face the hard-hitting Ali Saldoev at One Fight Night 31, and Yuki Yoza finally signs for one championship. This is the One Media Show, this time on Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcast champion of the world. This is the One Championship Media Show, and with me today, I'm very happy to say the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world. Feeling a little bit under the weather today, but here nonetheless, that is, of course, Brother Gaia. What's happening, Brother Gaia?
Ohio. Yo, bro. I'm alright. I look like death on screen, but I'm okay. I'm here. Happy to
But
provide more
yeah, Brad,
information
thank
about one
you.
champion.
Thank you for joining us. We, of course, do appreciate you and your efforts, your continued
Appreciate you
efforts here at
guys.
Fight Friends. So drop a like on the video there for BG. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into one of our stories here. And this fight was announced just about a few hours ago. And that's the new Estupinan brother, Jordan Estupinan, coming up against the hard-hitting Ali Saldoev. This is happening at One Fight Night 31. So, BG, we were
Mm-hmm.
fortunate enough to witness the debut of Jordan Estupinan against Freddie
So,
Haggerty. Some would say pulling up off an upset there. Everybody tipped Freddie Haggerty, of course, the very celebrated brother of Jonathan Haggerty, to win that fight. But Jordan put up a fantastic performance that night,
yeah. Yeah.
and now he's back to face Ali Saldoev, who is 1-1 in the one championship.
Mm.
I just watched one of his knockout against Al Jamari.
Oh, yeah.
Vicious body shot, left hook combination to finish it. Really beautiful. So yeah, Brad, give us your thoughts, your reaction
Mm.
on this one, please, sir.
Yeah, I think it's a great matchup for the one championship they have done, to be honest with you. And also a good test for this is Jordan, right? Not Johan, this is Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah,
Yeah, I actually won't agree with the upset situation. I think it was a good, even matchup for the two. I think maybe because of the fan base and what kind of weight the Haggerty name does bring. I think maybe that's why it would be assumed as an upset. But I think both those fighters at the time were kind of equally matched, both very young, both under 20. It made sense for that fight to take place like that. And I think Jordan did fantastic. I like his style. He fights just like his brother, a little bit more, I would say, a little bit more uh, um, strategic and a bit calmer between the two Estupinan twins. Johan's a little bit more reckless than Jordan. Jordan seems to be a bit more precise with his shots, which I actually like to see. So I would go as far as to say he looks more like as the more deadly fighter between the two twins. But Salidov is powerful, and you called it. He's got some very good boxing. He's a bit taller than Jordan, so I think it's going to be a very good matchup for both guys. So I do think that Jordan Estupiñan's pace and youth and vibrance, and also the creativity that he has, is going to be something very difficult for a lot of guys to deal with. I think that can really be the style that can beat Saldoev. And Saldoev has got great boxing, so I think he's going to pose a very good threat for Jordan to sort of navigate that boxing threat. So I think very good fight for one championship, and also good curtain raiser for Fight Night 31.
absolutely. Yeah. So speaking of Fight Night 51, just in case you haven't seen, this is the full card. We were just mentioning before we went on air, BG, quite a short card. So looking at quite a short night at the office for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Just give me 1 second quickly. I just need to let. Um, Sorry about that. I just needed to get this light out of my face. There we go. Okay. Sorry, what was that question, Eddie? I had to just
Just thoughts on the card. Like I said, it is quite a
yeah.
short card in comparison to the usual length.
Mm.
But yeah, quite a good fights on this one. So just your general reaction to the card as a whole, BG.
Quite intrigued by the matchups, to be honest with you. I think a lot of the fights on this fight card has got some good implications for that particular division. The last time you and I spoke about this card was last week, and there were since then there's been two added fights, and that's Zhang Lepeng versus Lucas Gabriel, which I'm quite excited for. Zhang Lepeng's a very hard hitting lightweight coming out of China, and Lucas need to see what he's going to bring to the table. And obviously, again, Jordan Estupiñan has been now added to the fight card. But I think if you look at all those matchups from top to bottom, it's got some good implication because I think I just give you some names to think about right now. If you think about Akif, Guluzada. I would have loved to actually have seen him take on one of the Estupinan brothers, but we got both of them on the same fight card. That's gonna be hella explosive, right? So we got Guzala, we got Estupinan, two young athletes. We've got Semapek taking on Abdullah Tayakayev. That's also really gonna be exciting fight. Excuse me. Then we have Liam Nolan versus Trujillo. That's also fantastic because I know the one championship is hyping up Liam Nolan. Fantastic Muay Thai practitioner. So I'm keen to see that fight as well because Trujillo, hard, bro. He's got hard eating hands. So that's going to be a good fight. Especially because Liam Nolan likes to be clean, look pretty when he fights. Whereas Trujillo is like, he's going to bite down on his mouthpiece and he's going to just go balls to the wall. So I'm very excited for that kind of matchup. And then obviously you got Tado Tolo. Who doesn't want to watch a Tolo fight? You know what I mean? And then obviously one of my favorite guys to watch him on championship to this day is Kong Towarani. So let's go, bro. I'm amped for this fight card. I can't wait. And hopefully by that time I'll be healed up from this flu and then we get to do a nice live for Fight Night 31.
Yeah, nah, no doubt, PG. I'm sure you'll be fine by then. So let's not worry too much about that, bro. But anyway, bro, we've got some other stories to cover. Something you were very excited about this morning was Yuki Yoza finally joining the One Championship.
Yeah,
So I'm going to stop sharing you for a second, BG. Let you get
yeah,
your information up on the screen. Let me just get that up there.
no problem.
There we
But like you
go.
say, very exciting signing for one championship. I think it's a big signing because I think this sign is a marquee signing as for what's to come for the one championship. Right? Let me just give you some context to that. I think what's happening here is we are going to see a war between, and I say war in the nicest context, not in the way that we actually understand war, but in the context of fighting here in the combat sports world, we're going to see a battle between Japan and Thailand. And it's been going on for a while, right? But uh, Pasan and Yuki, it's basically completing the signings of the Takeru camp, right? We've got Takeru now, Masaki Noiri, we've got Yuya Wakamatsu, and now we've got the Yuki Yoza, right? These guys are all coming out the same fighting camp. And if we think about these fighters and put them against Thailand's top guys, Supalek, Rotang, Pictanong, the list goes on, right? All these high level strikers. I think we're going to see another potential a Japan versus Thailand fight card again. And I think by adding Yuki, it's just gonna make that card become more realistic. And I'm very excited for that because dude, these guys are absolutely killers. I sent you a link in the group chat earlier this morning about a fight of Yuki taking on the guy I introduced you to uh, um, many years ago. Remember Pictam, the left
Mhm.
we used to call him left back.
Live
The two
back,
of
yeah.
the two of them fought last year for the title in the bantamweight division for K1, and Yuki schooled him really badly. And I was like,
Mm,
"Oh my word, this is a fighter that's very exciting to watch." And now that he's here, it's bantamweight division. It's one of the biggest divisions in the one championship right now. We think about both kickboxing and Muay Thai. So I'm quickly just gonna go over to the rankings over here, just show you flyweight Muay Thai rankings. This is not even the full list of flyweight Muay Thai guys, right?
mm,
This is just the top five alone. Let's just go to the kickboxing because I think it's most likely going to be kickboxing for,
yeah.
for for Yuki rather than Muay Thai. Look at that. That's not even the full list. It's not even the full list of guys that fight in this division. So you know what I mean. There's John Lineker as well that can compete against him. Asa
Mm,
Tempa. There's a whole bunch of guys in the bantamweight division. Sorry, that's flyweight. Bantamweight. Here we go. Look at that.
yeah, yo, that's absolute killers here, bro.
You know what I mean?
Um,
And
yeah, like
Abdul
you,
fights here as well.
sure, man's gonna have a great time here. Well, great time or hard time, one of the two, coming into this
Excuse
division.
me.
But yeah, like you mentioned, he is a former K1 kickboxing world champion, and he's coming into the one championship on a 10 fight streak. So
Yep.
nothing to be played with here, bro. But again, he's coming into a division where, yeah, could be quite a tough one. So yeah, very interested to see how he performs, especially being such a well-established fighter on the
Yeah.
K1 scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, BG, any final thoughts here on Yuki Yoza?
Yes, I do just want to bring up one more thing on Yuki Yoza because I just thought this was a cool idea. It's just the thought that one of the guys we follow, Tetsuya, you can check him out. He left something on his page that I thought was quite intriguing. There we go. Just had a thought about it. this fight is pretty interesting for me. And Yuza's debut, Lineker, has proven that he's no joke in the striking department. I actually wouldn't mind this fight, right? For a couple of reasons. And I think that's for number one, it will be a great introduction for Yoza to come into the one championship, right? It's a legend in John Lineker. He's a
Mm.
former champion in Muay Thai, in MMA. Not that that really matters. He will fight you in any department, whether it's Muay Thai or kickboxing or MMA. I'm not surprised he's not even. I'm surprised he's not even doing jiu-jitsu. This is John Lineker now. Um, but what will be amazing for this fight is I rank I rank John Lineker quite high when it comes to the Muay Thai and kickboxing. Right, but more Muay Thai than kickboxing. But I think putting him in a fight like this would test Yuki firstly, and also it wouldn't risk the one championship that much in terms of putting their top five prospects. Because you obviously someone like Yuki Yoza, you don't want to give him just a tune-up fight. He's a champion coming into an organization that does kickboxing. So you almost want to give him a top five contender, right? You want to give him someone that's also challenging for a title to make him to almost fast track him into that position because he comes with that kind of weight. But what if he loses? You know what I mean? So I think give him someone like John Lineker, which will test him. But also, if John Lineker loses, then you're like, okay, cool. Yuki is that great. We can put him up against a top five guy, and you don't risk any of the top five division guys right now that could potentially have fought for a title next. You know what I'm trying to say? So I
Mhm.
actually do kind of agree with this matchup. But that being said, I think if you give anybody for Yuki, it would be a great fight in the one championship. And I think right now there's so many killers in bantamweight that any one of them is like one or two fights away from being for a title. So yeah, I
Mm.
just think Lineker would be a good test for anybody to enter
Yeah.
into a championship.
Yeah, I'm always here for the John Lineker fight, bruh. Do love me some John Lineker. But yeah, to your point there, BG, I don't mind. Give him top three, give him top five, give him a title shot coming in, bruh. Kill or be killed. Let's see what he's made of. You know what
Wait,
I mean?
Rui?
Wairui, bruh, former mythical fighter Wairui. Why not, bruh? Let's see a bit more from Wairui. Maybe Wairui can give a better showing of himself than he did against Jonathan Agati, and
Perhaps, yeah.
that would be a fantastic fight as well. So yeah, many options here and lots to look forward to in this division, especially. So yeah, BG very
Yeah.
amped for that. Yeah. Any other thoughts here on Mr. Yoza before we move on?
Yeah, nothing much. Then all you can do is just repeat what you say, and that's just very excited to see the signing. It's a very big signing for one championship, and yeah, this is blockbuster stuff, dude. This is a big move for them, and I'm amped for it.
Nicely done, BG. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any thoughts on Yuki Yoza or any of the Estupinan brothers, anything like that, drop us a comment in the comment section. Like the video and subscribe to Fighting with Friends if you're enjoying the content.
Sure.
But then finally, our story here, something that I was, of course, very upset about over the weekend was Thant Zin being pulled from Friday Fights 105. And we did get the information, I think, in our recap towards the end of our Friday
Yes.
Fights recap. But
Yes.
just to kind of go into more detail there, what have you found out here, BG?
So on that day when we were doing our recap, this on screen right now is the exact post that I found that time when we did the recap a few days ago. So this is on Twitter. Ang Niang Su. I think this is from might be a Burmese individual. Has posted this information as you can see on screen. This was dropped literally last week. I think it was Friday. So Thant Zin wasn't able to make that fight due to medical issues, as you can see on screen. And what it was is that they found what appeared to be some kind of spot or blood clot on his eye, which was making it difficult for Thant Zin to have clear vision. And obviously, you don't want to fight without having clear vision because that's one of the most dangerous things to do. And also, Petsukovic is not the kind of fighter you want to go in there with one eye.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
yeah,
he will knock your ass out. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm happy that they made that choice and protected the athletes. And as you can see, I'm not going to play this in sound. It's easy in Thai, so I won't be able to translate what he's saying. But what it looks like, he's obviously just wishing Thant Zin really well and hope that they can reschedule that fight going forward. And I think they will. I think they definitely will. So I'm happy to see that there's nothing too serious. I did say it could have been a doctor's thing, and it turned out to be a doctor's thing, and it's not too serious. So I'm sure we will see Thant Zin back in the near future.
Yeah, I hope so, bruh. As you know, and as the people who watch our channel regularly will know, Tansin, of course, is one of my favorite fighters personally. So yeah, we wish him a happy recovery here at Fighting with Friends, and shout out to the Burmese people, long-time listeners and great friends of the channel here at Fighting with Friends. Thank you so much for the continued love and support. But yeah,
Thanks.
BG, we can wrap it up there. We'll let you get some bed rest, and then
Thank you.
hopefully you'll be ready to go for the rest of the week. But before we do that, maybe you can just give us some final thoughts or anything you'd like to say to the people just before we close it out.
Yeah, I just wanted to take this moment since we have the floor for that is to give many thanks for the support for our channel. Firstly, we didn't think it was gonna we're gonna get to this point at this stage. We put in a lot of hard hours, a lot of hard work to try to change what we can to stay in the times, to stay with the trends. It's not that easy, but I think what I want to just end it off with say is I'm very grateful for you, grateful for the audience members, grateful for the people that have subscribed and continuously been with us, even when we had lives and we only have one or two people in the live, and then people that do engage, they do engage, and I'm just grateful for that. And it keeps me fueled to want to continuously do this. So yeah, thank you for that.
Nicely done, BG, and thank you to you making an appearance in sickness and in health. Till death do us part there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much once again for watching. If you have made it this far, please don't forget to like and subscribe to Fighting with Friends. We're doing big things here, and we hope to have you along for the journey. But from myself, BG, BB, Jedi Knight, all of us here at the Fighting with Friends conglomerate, have a great evening,
Yeah.
afternoon, whatever time you're watching this, and we'll see you next time on Fighting with Friends.